Hello everyone, welcome to the 5th episode of Woolly Witch of the West. My name is Madeline. Thanks for stopping by to talk knitting with me for a little while, and if you're a returning viewer, of course, thanks for coming back to watch my new episodes. As you can see, I'm back in my house recording today. I've had kind of crazy little while. This episode is a little bit late, but I've kind of just decided that doing this video cast is something that I think is really fun, and I'm just going to let it be a fun thing and not a stressful thing, so I do apologize that this is a little late getting out to you all, but hopefully you understand. Life is crazy. So I apologize. I know the video quality when I record on my computer like this isn't as nice as it is on my iPad, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, here we are. It's officially springtime in Montana. As you can see, I trusted the forecast and went to the hot springs and thought it was going to be a cloudy, rainy day and forgot my sunscreen. So normally I'm not quite so immodest when I'm recording things for the internet, but I really can't stand to have any more clothes on than I have on right now. So hopefully you guys can all handle that, because that's the way it's going to be. My cat wants to be part of the podcast. Here then. Rasway's around, so you may see him. There he is. Big gray cat hiding behind the chair, crying. He likes to steal my chair, actually. He doesn't want to snuggle me. He just wants the chair. What's up, baby? So I'm doing this show off the cuff. I've had a little bit of feedback that my off the cuff unscripted shows are a little bit more fun than when I write myself notes, although they do tend to be just a little bit longer. I'm gonna try and keep things not quite so long, but we'll just kind of see how it goes. So I'm gonna go through finished objects, in progress things. I have a little bit of spinning to talk about today, which is fun, and I also have, I was going to skip, I know a lot of podcasters do like an acquisitions section, which I thought I would skip most of the time, and I probably will skip most of the time, because I'm more interested in hand spun these days than commercial yarns. But a few people have sent me some really lovely things in the mail, and I wanted to just share those with you, partially because some of them have to deal with future spinning plans, and also just because it's all so exciting. So I am going to go ahead and talk about that, probably the last thing in the show. And I'm also going to try and talk a little bit more slow. I'm kind of rushing through things because I'm going to see my mom for a week. Yay! Next week, so I'm not going to be around, and there will be no way for me to edit anything. Oh, come on. And there will be no way for me to edit anything in Missoula while I'm doing this. But if you're in Missoula and you want to see me, say hello, hit me up, we can make some plans. I'll be down. So yeah, I'm gonna give this cat some love so maybe he doesn't just cry the whole show. Isn't he huge? Look at this cat. So big. A big baby. So yeah, I'm totally distracted by this guy. If he doesn't stop crying, I'll probably pause and let him outside or something. So first of all, as far as finished objects go, I have some, but I can't show them to you because I have already stuck them in the mail. And I happen to know that the dreaded dinosaur crochet is over, first of all. It's the first thing I'm very excited about. That was an amigurumi pattern. I have a second screen, so I've brought up all my patterns over here to make sure I had the correct pattern names and author names to give you guys. So it's a T-Rex by Paolo Navarro, and they run, what is it, Delicious Crochet as an Etsy shop, and all the patterns are so adorable. It almost makes me wish that I was into amigurumi because they are so cute. But no offense against all the crocheters out there, I think you guys are magic, but it makes my hands hurt so bad doing all these little tiny crochet stitches with bigger yarn on a smaller needle, and it probably just, while you can make amazing things with it, it probably is not the craft for me. But I chose this pattern over a lot of the knitting patterns kind of due to yardage constraints since I was using my own hand spun, and also just because it is so darn cute. It is the cutest T-Rex pattern I could find. Technically, Owen wanted an Allosaurus just to be fair, but I figure it looks similar enough, and it's a baby, so right. From the imagination of 6-year-olds, it's a baby Allosaurus, so. And I think he just named it Dinosaurus Stuffed Animal. He already had a name chosen out when I told him that it was in the mail, and they FaceTimed me yesterday when he opened the package, and it was pretty adorable, so totally worth it to spend all my time crocheting this pattern and using my hand spun to make a stuffed animal. I admit that wasn't something that was really on my bucket list, but it's happened and it's done. So I will insert a photo either here or someplace when the cat was crawling on me, or maybe at the very beginning of the show. I did at least get one good photo of him before I sent him off. He's got really big feet, so he's perfect for stomping. And that's one done. Check. So accountability knits done. I also finished up, I think I showed you guys last time, my sister's hat, and I sent that along too, so finally, right, Jetty? And other than that, I haven't really finished anything. I have some in progress things, a couple that are kind of off the cuff. I have a friend who had a birthday, who I'm making just a little bag for. Ow, it hurts to raise my arm up. And it'll have the 2-loop drawstring at the top so you can cinch it tight. And there isn't a pattern for this, I'm just making it up as I go, and I'm using leftover Let Lope Be Icelandic from the mittens that I made the Spouse Feast. And it looks a little funny now, but I think once you close up the drawstring, it'll be kind of cute. And it'll puff out at the top. And so yeah, that'll be fun. And that's just for my friend Megan, who we saw at the hot springs the other day. We were actually there for her birthday. She invited us down, so that was nice. And I'll just make some I-cords. I'm so close, I'm almost cast off, and I ran out of purple yarn. But I have some more at home, so it'll be done really soon. And then I can send that to her. I also have been a little bit better about putting things more within reach. My April socks, ta-da! I know you can't really see the stitch definition very well. If I hide my face, does it show? But the little V's have speckles in them, rather, offset with regular, just straight stitch. And I'm so close. Spouse Creature doesn't like their socks quite as high cuffed as I do, so these are definitely going to be done before the month is over. So that's good. I've got a car ride to work on them on. I'm golden on these, so that's one set of socks finished in the month that they're supposed to be finished in. So that'll be good. And this is the Speckled Space Socks pattern by Amanda Stevens, which is really fun because the V's and, I don't know, the overall pattern kind of just reminds me of Star Trek. Not sure why. And the yarn I feel like was already textured, but the pattern's basic enough that it isn't like too busy. You really can't see the stitches. Oh, that's not so bad. So yeah, that's really fun. Those are for free on Ravelry. Speckled Space Socks by Amanda Stevens. And I did modify them. I've done them 2 at a time, toe up. And instead of using the heel from the pattern, I've used the Fish Lips Kiss heel and made the whole template for the feet and everything, and that's awesome. They seem to fit really well. This is just going to be the show interrupted by cats. So there's that. The other thing I've been working on is also an accountability knit. It's so soft. Oh my gosh. So this is the pattern is the Rush Azalea Wrap by Claire Hickman Clemens. And this is done with hand-painted 100% mohair. And it's a fun project. It's pretty mindless and pretty simple. I don't have the right size needles in bamboo, so I still am working on metal needles. You guys, please don't be as silly as me. Please don't work with mohair on metal needles. It is too slippery, and I mean, everyone's different. You might like it. I don't particularly. Will you hold that thought? I'm gonna let this crying cat outside. I'll be right back. Okay, the cat has freedom. We should be good. So what was I talking about? Yeah, this yarn was Dream Yarn for me. It was at the yarn shop a long time. It was kind of pricey, as it should be, for hand-dyed, gorgeous yarn with this halo. It's like spinning up sunrise. I only have this much left. So that should hopefully be enough for a couple more sections of the shawl, and if it ends up long enough. Unfortunately, the colors really, I mean, I'm sunburned right now, and that kind of helps, but the colors really aren't great for my skin tone. I just am not one of those ladies that can pull off colors quite so bright. So I will probably be trading or gifting or selling this shawl if I can manage to. But the good news is we still carry some of this yarn in the shop, so I can put something up in the shop on display, which will make me feel kind of good, because the shop is full of all the amazing things that Cheryl has knit, which is, the lady has skills. I'll just leave it at that. It's gorgeous. So yeah, so I should be finished with that soon as well, and I really don't have other things going on right now. I need to start test knitting a pattern for socks that we're going to do in June, probably for Father's Day socks, or socks for Dad, or whichever big-footed dude type person you have in your life. So I need to test knit those, but they're with Arn weight yarn, so that shouldn't be too bad. They should be a pretty quick knit. So I'm gonna start on those as soon as I find the yarn I want to do that with. Oh, behind me. That's the other thing I've been doing. Squeaky chair. So I've been weaving, and I've been posting progress photos of that on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, I'm Woolly Witch of the West, and there will be more little progress videos and snippets of that. It's kind of an amalgamation between handspun and commercially bought and dyed yarns. It's what I'm doing with that my crazy tailspun yarn as I'm weaving it. I'm considering names for the piece now. I don't know. I kind of like the name Tributaries. And I may or may not put in like some embroidery on some of the negative space. So we're gonna see. I'm trying this whole making more high art fiber arts to see if that helps me kind of bust into a way to help this support me, since it's what I would rather be spending all my time doing, right? So that's going on, and that's the loom. That's not a commercially loom. It's just a basic frame loom that I made with nails and a frame from a busted out canvas. So they're really simple and easy to make. I do have a Navajo loom, but it's pretty large, and I am a little bit intimidated about it, and I don't know how to warp it yet. So I decided that for this project, I just wanted to weave something. I decided to go with something a little simpler, but wanted to do more tapestry style weaving than regular weaving with the 4-shaft loom I have as well. So that's that. So I do have some finished spinning to show you guys too. One of them is a comparison spin, which is kind of fun. This is that's not so bad. This is some yarn that I spun up on one of the Saturdays when I forgot my own plant dyed roving. So this is a commercially dyed wool. The colorway is I think Sugar Plum Dreams, or Dreaming of Sugar Plums, Sugar Plum something. It's by I'm so sorry. They're German. It's the same folks who do the Zauberball sock yarn that I love so much. And so it's a superwash merino, no nylon content or anything. And I just like purple, and I wanted to chain ply something, so this is the second spin and chain ply that I did, and it's a smaller spin. It's just 50 grams. I think I got 50 yards, so definitely interesting. And I spun this across the top. So across the top is where you just take the top that you have and you don't really do an awful lot of prep to it. I probably open the fibers up a little bit to make it easier to draw from, and then you try your best to spin one color at a time without muddying them. And depending on the staple length of your fiber, that's either really easy or really a pain. So this was short enough that I didn't have an awful lot of muddying of colors. So that's interesting. But I had another 50 grams of it that I purchased, so I decided to spin it up just when I was feeling a little brain dead and I couldn't quite keep up with knitting or the decision-making process for my random winding weaving. So I decided I was going to chain ply again and see how fine I could get the yarn to be, and then I was going to try and spin a true worsted yarn. So top prep, short forward draw, with the smoothing back, which I didn't do on this. I didn't smooth this back, so this is like a semi-woolen, I think is what that's called, or semi-worsted. I'm still getting all the lingo down correctly. So, and this I did do prep on. I stripped it down because I was going for fineness. I stripped it down into smaller strips of the color repeats and spun it up as fine as I could. And look how different it looks. So overall, it seems it's much darker. And I got a lot more barber pulling, which doesn't surprise me since I had much shorter color repeats. And it's much finer, which I'm pretty happy with, and it's very smooth, which is the worsted style spinning like it should be. So hey, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. I didn't get that much more yardage, which kind of surprised me. When I measured it out, I had like 60 2 yards on this. So that it really isn't that much more than the other that I spun, but it's a pretty good chain ply. My joins still aren't super smooth. I think I get wrapped up. There's one. So that's not great right there. Can it focus? No, doesn't want to. So I need to work on that. I think I'm going a little bit too fast is what is going on with that. But, so yeah, that's a comparison. Very, very different yarn. Same colorway. Almost the same style of spinning. Different prep. So, that's kind of fun. I'm probably not going to use them in the same project or anything. I'm probably going to stick them in the mail for people. And the other thing I have done that I'm really excited to share with you is my onion skin gradient dyed yarn. So here it is. I'll go down a little bit. So isn't that pretty? It's a little overplied. Once again, I think I'm going too fast, too quickly when I'm chain plying, which this is because I didn't want to get the colors muddied up. But there you can see the gradient really well together. So that's pretty fun. So yeah, the skein does twist on itself a little bit, which means I overplied it. It's not balanced. There's still a few sticks from the sheet that didn't quite come out when I was spinning. But overall, I'm really, really happy with it. It's fairly even throughout, but I kind of talked about it before that I'm not super concerned with all of my hand spun being even. I'm not really going for a professional finished look with a lot of my hand spun and how I choose to use it. I kind of want it to look like it was hand spun throughout the whole process. So that'll be cool. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to find a little shawlet to knit with this, or if I'm going to design one, or try designing one. I'm a little afraid. I might just start knitting and then see if I can keep up enough to write down what I've done and look at it afterwards. I don't know. But once again, I didn't get quite as much yardage as I was going for. It's not quite as thin as I would like it to be. So working on that, goals. So this isn't enough for like a big shawl. It's about 220 yards. So I mean, that's not terrible. But I'm really happy with the dye though, and the colors. I'm pretty happy with that. So that's spinning stuff. And going on to some things that the acquisition stage. I feel so silly talking about this. I don't know why. I don't mind it when other people do. I don't know why I would mind it when I do. I'm having coffee with you all. So, I'm gonna start with the package I got the longest ago and work my way up to the thing I've received most recently. So, oh, I forgot a almost finished item. One thing I met at my shop, which is awesome, a really fun gal from Canada. I think she's up in BC, Michaela, and we are fiber swap pen pal buddy type people. We agreed to just share. So she sent me a package a little while ago with some goodies in it, and one of the things that she sent me was some of her hand spun that's, well, I already knit it, so I can't really show you what it looked like as yarn, but this is, I just made a little kerchief because I couldn't decide what to do with it. There wasn't too much of it, but it was very textured and kind of difficult to match. But I don't know if you can see the little floofs in there. That's Angora, and it was plied with thread, so there's a lot of texture, so I just made like a little kerchief. I've already tried it in my hair, pin-up style, rosy style, where you go up and you tie it, and that works too, so that's kind of cool. And it's super soft, and I just loved the texture. She also sent me other yarn, which I knit into a bag that maybe I'll show it to you later. I should have asked her first to find out if it was superwash or not. I think it is, and I know that because I tried to felt it on purpose. So that didn't work out quite the way that I wanted it to, although it's still pretty cute, so it's not like a total loss. It's around here somewhere, waiting for the right person to come along who needs it as a gift. And aren't those colors pretty? Look, sometimes you just need something simple to do with really pretty yarn that someone has put an awful lot of time into. So that's pretty cool. I'm finding that one of my favorite things in life is knitting with other people's hand spun. I feel so spoiled anytime I do that, knowing the time and care that people put into the process of making yarn. But I do need to weave the ends in. So I'll stick that back in my bag to bring with me to finish up in the car. So she sent me that. And speaking of future spinning things in progress, she also, there's going to be crinkling. I'm sorry. A few things I haven't spun yet. She sent me just little sample tastes of, it's alpaca. Isn't it beautiful? And it's all in pencil roving. So I've kind of have noticed that people are on the fence with alpaca. Should I mix it with something? Should I mix it with some wool? Will the difference in staple lengths cause one to wear out more than the other more quickly? I've heard people say that you shouldn't mix short and long stapled fiber. Is that like a matter of opinion? Or is that like tried and true and tested? I need to do some more research. And I haven't spun alpaca before, but this is lovely and I love the color and I'm really excited to play with this fun little sample. So that's on the docket. Another thing that she sent me is probably a little bit more challenging because this is cotton. So, cotton. Look how short the fiber staple is. Oh my gosh, that's so tiny. So I don't even know if I can spin this. I do, I'm like surrounded by wheels. The wheel behind me that you can see is a Bia. She's a vintage Dutch wheel, and she's a bit heavy-handed. So like even my onion skin yarn, I couldn't even ply that on that wheel. It's too heavy. I do have an Ashford Traddy. I could try spinning it as like a bulkier yarn on that. I do also have spindles, drop spindles. I'm not very good at spindling, although I bet I would be better at it now that I've gotten drafting down more or less. Although this would be different than anything else I have ever spun with. But the exciting news about this is that she also sent me some copper, a special kind of copper mordant. So to mordant this and dye it. So I'm going to see, I haven't dyed cellulose fiber yet. I haven't done any plant fiber dyeing. I've only done protein-based fiber dyeing. So I've only dyed wool. So I'm going to dye this. I don't know what I'm going to dye with. Maybe onion skins, because I have a lot of them and they're some of my favorites. And I'm interested to see how it would turn out with the copper mordant. So that's on the spinning docket that you can look forward to, and thank you so much, Michaela. I also have been meaning to send her a package for quite a while, but international shipping is what it is, and I'll be caught up on bills here soon, and I'll have a chance to send the package. I have it pretty much ready, so what can you do? The second package that I received was from Gwaine, who you've all heard me talk about before, and he and his partner Blake sent me the rainbow yarn in my weaving back there, which was just bright enough to go with the tailspun blues and purples that are falling out the front of there. So that's cool. Thank you very much. It's perfect. Gwaine, have you just been like chomping at the bit waiting for me to mention it this entire time? Gwaine and I also did a knitting swap. So the hand-spun purple and orange ultimate witchy shrug that I made, that's what I sent to Gwaine. And Gwaine in return sent me this, which do you see the stitch definition? Do you see the beads? Look at the bottom, there are different beads. Sorry, my computer just went to sleep. Oh my gosh, isn't that lovely? And I'm not sure exactly what the fiber content of the yard is, but I think it has silk in it. And it's about my wingspan. I know I'm filming this terribly. I'll try and get a picture of me wearing it. I can wear it across my back. It's big enough for that. And I can wear it across the front to hide my horrendous sunburn. And it's not too heavy. So, little did you know, Gwaine, that you would be saving me. But oh my gosh, it is so lovely and beautiful and drapey, and I love it. And especially the white pearl beads at the bottom. Oh, and look. Signs of true lace. Only hand knitters can do them. Can you see them? Probably not. My point is that there are nups all along the bottom edge of this project, which, if you've made them, you'll know why that's a big deal. Or at least to people who don't just knit lace constantly, why that's a big deal. Would you believe that this was his first lace knitting project? I'm impressed. And I feel super, super loved. So thank you so much, Gwaine. I'm totally down for knitting swaps with you all the time. Except for the crazy socks. I'm not making any of those crazy socks. I'm sorry. So I'll post a link below if I can find it again, so you all will. You can take a gander, maybe. If there's anyone out there who wants to do a knitting swap with Gwaine and knit him some crazy socks, make sure that you ask him to make you something lace and huge. And I didn't send that shrug off, and he has received it, and he likes it, and it fits him, which is, I'm so glad, because he's quite tall. So, yeah, knit swap complete. That's fun. And the other thing that I've received was totally unexpected and really kind of fun, and that is that the woman who I did all the yarn swap, the winter yarn swap with, who sent me the purple and blue locks for that tailspun yarn, and the space yarn that I spun up, that was dyed by her as well. Well, she spun up the bats that I sent her, and there was one of the bats that she said that she just probably wouldn't knit up anytime soon. And so while it was fun to spin, she just sent me back the finished yarn, along with some wool that she happened to dye with leftover Easter egg dye. So totally unexpectedly and out of the blue, I cast on and test knit a little bit. I am not going to be knitting anything with it on these needles. So that's what it looks like. And this is just some mystery wool we had at the shop. That's the turquoise and heather, some purple merino, some sparkle, and a little bit of light blue mohair. So I'm definitely going to knit it on bigger, larger needles with much drapier because it's going to be warm. So I should maybe have waited to ball it up, but I was out and I had it with me, so I couldn't. So she spun this up, and how neat is that to see the bat that I made for someone sent back and as a finished project, so I could see what it would look like in person instead of just a photo. So that's really neat and just so sweet. And it was Betty. I think you go by Betty. Betty, you're so right. I will knit with this right away because I love knitting other people's hand spun. I'm currently in the process of deciding what to make with it. Some kind of a drapey something or other. So, gonna do that. And I'm not taking everything out of the bag because it'll crinkle. And it's gonna crinkle at you anyways, but look! Isn't that fun? So she just sent me a random fiber sample of wool that she dyed with the leftover Easter egg dyes. No big deal. So that's fun, and I'm really happy that she sent me some of the top that was undyed. I think what I'm going to do with it is that I'm probably going to card it up into some Rolags with my hand cards, and do a bunch of fiber blending to blend the white in with the rest of this dyed stuff. And look at the color. Maybe she remembered what colors I said were my favorite, and that's why she sent it to me. But it was just completely out of the blue. And so sweet. So thank you very much. I'm going to have a lot of fun spinning it up. And I will post photos on Instagram and Facebook and things of the fiber prep that I'm doing in case anybody's interested in following that. So yeah, there you go. That's kind of it. I think that's all I have. Other than that, life has been crazy. Remember to wear sunscreen. Always wear sunscreen. That's my mantra. Other than that, things are pretty good up here. The woods are finally starting to green up. I've had my first crocus grow and bloom in my garden, so we're officially spring. And we're gonna put up some deer fencing so that this year we can have a yard, because the deer up here even eat things that the deer aren't supposed to want to eat. I've discovered over the past several years. So that's where we're at. Other than that, I'm gonna hang out with my mom next week, and I'm excited about that. So that's my general life update. So thank you all again for tuning in and being excited to hear about what's going on in my fiber arts world and realm of things. I am equally excited about projects that any of you are doing, so if you want to comment below or say hello to me with a message on Instagram or Ravelry, where I'm Woolly Witch OT West, or Facebook, I'm with either Fox and Spider Arts or the Woolery Mammoth Yarn Shop. So you can find me at all of those places, and I'd love to hear from you, or comment below. I'll always reply. And other than that, I'd also like to put a special thank you out there to the patrons on our Patreon for Fox and Spider Arts. You guys are always so encouraging for me to continue to work on putting information out there about the art that I am making, and I appreciate you all so much. So there you have it. I will see you guys later. I'm not sure if I will, I'm probably not gonna film next weekend. I'll still be in Missoula, but the weekend after that I will probably be back, and we'll see. I don't have anything on the needle, so what I'm doing then might surprise you. Who knows? Alright. Until then, happy spinning, happy knitting. Hopefully there's a bunch of yarn in your life.